Hello, everyone. It's nice to see people already here in the chat. I'm glad you all could stop in and say hello. Jim from Totally Relaxed is our first person in tonight. He got so excited. He went to last week's live stream, thought he'd missed me completely, but he figured it out, and Jim is present and accounted for. Nice to have you here, Jim. And the Nomadic Ramblers are here. I'm so glad that you guys were able to have internet and come in for the live feed tonight. Tell us where you are. How's your travel been going? Um, we're just excited to hear some news from you all every day and know how you're doing. We miss you. Kelly's here. Hey, Kelly, how are you? And Dawn and Kevin are hanging out across the yard here. And Dawn is here from Code 4 for Life. Hello, how are you this evening? Hope everything is good for you guys. And there's our moderator, Daryl, saying hello to everyone. So I have a special live feed tonight. As you all know from the thumbnail, and some of you may not have seen it on Facebook, so I'll just kind of post my thumbnail up here. So tonight is a topic to help people who are new to the RV community. And the reason why I'm doing this tonight is because my daughter and son-in-law just purchased an RV. And they of course, have lots of questions. And they just need feedback as much as they can. They've been watching a lot of videos, but I thought it would be great if they could hear it from this group, from some people who are out there doing this, remembering the times when you first got your RV and some of the things that you've learned since, so that you could give a little bit of wisdom and advice to new couples who are beginning this RV adventure. So let's see what we can do for them. There's Thin Blue Lane. Hey, nice to have you here tonight. I appreciate you stopping by. And let's see, Kelly and Jim just saying hello to everybody. Everybody's just saying hello. So anyway, let's start out this topic. If there's Sue. Hi, Sue. Thanks for popping in. Remember back to when you were buying your first RV, and tell us some of the things that you think are important for new owners to know about maybe some equipment that they really need first time out, or essentials for the RV kitchen, how to pack for a trip, what you need to do when setting up, any checklists that you've run across that you found that are really good. Because, when the first few times that you take an RV out, just, hitching up and getting ready to go is kind of scary. So if you've run across a really good, shakedown checklist, what to do before you pull out, please let us know that. Let's see. Really enjoy your video from Daytona, Sue said to Thin Blue Line. That's really cool. I haven't seen that one yet. I'll have to go back and watch it. Let's see. Let me go back a little bit. Watch the movie Long Long Trailer with Lucille Ball. Yes, I'll have to have my daughter watch that one. It's really quite hilarious. Dawn says, I learned not to try to buy a bunch of stuff at the start until you learn how to camp. That's really wise advice. We'll be sure to share that. My daughter already had a prior engagement this evening. I was going to ask them to come up as guests so that they could ask particular questions, but they already had a previous engagement, so they weren't able to make it. But they're going to be watching the replay, so please add all the information for them that you can. Let's see. Shirley, that was a great interview with Paula at Van Vita Travels. Thank you. awesome that you had so many of your supporters there. It was really a good time. I really enjoyed the interview, and it was really very helpful. That that interview helped get me over that 450 milestone, so it was really great. And Van Vita is really easy to talk to, and Badge is Badge, and he's hilarious, and I really enjoy him. So I had a great time. Thank you for commenting. Oh, Papa Drew popped in here. Hey, Papa Drew, let's see what he said. If you are new to the RV, don't be afraid of the black tank. Yes. I pulled a valve off and it went all over me. After that, it was all uphill. It will happen, it will be gross, and then it will be funny. That's very true. Um, Hopefully, their instructor or inspection person, when they walk through Saturday, will make sure and show them exactly how to operate that black tank correctly, because that can really be a nightmare. I'm so sorry you went through that, Papa Drew. But yeah, later you can laugh, but it's not so funny at the time, that's for sure. Let's see. If the off ramp says 45, drive 45. That's very true. And my son in law sometimes has a heavy foot, but his wife has already talked to him about that. The need just to slow down when you're towing. Absolutely. It's a real thing. Let's see. Tall swing is a real thing. A tail swing is a real thing. Yes, that's very true. Um, that's something that he will have to adjust to. Um, oh, Griswold Family Vacays here. I didn't see them pop in. Oh, there they are. Hey, how are you guys doing? Nice to see you on the live feed tonight. So happy you could be here. You guys have been camping for a while, so if you've got anything that you would like to say, a little bit of advice for new RV owners, please make sure that you put it in the chat. Let's see, what's Kelly saying? Water filter and water regulator. I'll have to point that out to them. They do need to get a water regulator on their hose, absolutely. It just helps prevent any mishaps and protects your plumbing. So thank you, Kelly. I will make sure that they know that they need to keep their water pressure under 45 pounds of pressure. And the nomadic ramblers are back. I guess they came in early, and so now they're back. Where are you guys at? Tell us how you're doing. We really want to hear your progress. We miss you guys and hope everything is going well. Ron Laxton, hello from North Carolina. Thank you so much, Ron, for joining our live chat tonight. Please feel free to add to the topic. If you haven't seen it, we're discussing anything that might be helpful information for new RV owners. So please feel free to interact in the chat. I really appreciate it when you do that. I'm here from Van Vita Travels. That's very nice. Thank you so much. That was just such a great evening last night. I really enjoyed it. And the Nomadic Ramblers are saying hello to everyone. And Papa Drew says, do not tailgate when driving the RV. Leave the space. You are going to get cut off. Absolutely. No one cares if they are number one. Relax and enjoy the ride and extra space from the car in front of you. That's just excellent advice, Papa Drew. Thank you so much. They need to hear those kinds of things to help keep them safe. And that's important to me. Let's see. Ronald S. Ronald S.I. S.L. maybe. 1962. I'm here. Oh, okay. Yes, I read that one already. Let's see. Bug spray. Kelly, that's an important factor, isn't it? You're always going to run into mosquitoes and bugs that you don't want around you when you're out camping. That's for sure. Kevin Klein has joined us. He's saying hello to everybody. Let's see. Nomadic Ramblers. We are at the Cherokee Casino in Roland, Oklahoma. It's fantastic. The food here is great. It's non-smoking, and you know I'm in heaven. And free campsites. It's awesome with power, sewer, and water. That's wonderful, Sharon. Y'all really lucked into a good spot there. So it's good for overnight. So Roland, Oklahoma. Okay, well you're moving on. I hope your trip has been pleasant so far. Donnie Childs, hello. How are you? Nice to see you here tonight. Glad you could join the live feed. And we also have Forever Best Friends. Hi, guys. Nice to see you on here as well. And please feel free to interact and give us some ideas for new RV owners. Let's see. Everybody's just saying hi. Those bugs will carry you off down here. Yes, they absolutely will. I'm from Florida, so I totally understand what you're saying. And I usually carry 4 to 5 bottles of off with me every single trip. When I empty one, I go buy another one. I don't ever want to be out of it. So it's absolutely a necessity when you're camping. All right, it flipped on me again. Hang on. Don says, don't try to tow a trailer that is way too long or heavy for your tow vehicle. Very, very good advice. They have a GMC Denali 3500, so I'm sure that is sufficient to tow the trailer that they are purchasing. The one that they're getting was the trailer that was on the picture of my thumbnail. So I'm looking at it and reading the specs. They should be great. No extra problems. Make extra wide turns in the intersection. Know your pivot points. Everyone includes your insurance company would like you to know more. That's for sure. And that takes a while to get used to, doesn't it, Papa Drew? It's something I still am very careful, especially like even in gas stations. You have to be so careful that you pull out far enough away from the pump before you make any turns so that you don't run your trailer into that cement pole or a gas pump. So you have to really have a different mindset when you're towing a trailer. Thank you, Papa Drew. That's very important. And Ronald is just saying hello to everybody. Forever Best Friends. Everybody's saying hello. Good point. Yes, Code 4 made a really good point. And Bobby would say a shovel. He absolutely would, wouldn't he? That Bobby, but they're, he has lots of uses for shovels, and it does come in handy. So a shovel, I have a very small one, but I do have a shovel. So yes, it's a necessity. It's one of those things that you need to carry with you. You never know if you're going to get stuck. And a shovel would come in handy an awful lot. And Daryl's reminded everyone, yes, please hit that thumbs up if you're enjoying the live chat tonight. I would really appreciate it. A shovel and great friends. Absolutely. Great friends have to be included. Papa Drew also said, remember to judge people on how they are, not what other people say about you. That's very true. The nice thing about camping is that you mostly meet really nice people. And I hope that continues to be the same for my daughter. Now, they will probably do more campground camping than I do. But for the most part, I've been in a lot of campgrounds, state parks and COE campgrounds in particular. And I've run into very nice people there as well. You still have that 1 or 2% that's, going to be just a jerk no matter what you do. But you have to decide if it's worth staying and just ignoring them, or do you just pick up and move someplace else? So that's kind of a life situation. But when you're in a trailer, the nice thing is you don't like it, you can get up and move. And that's the best advice in a situation like that, I think. Let's see. Thin Blue Line is in Florida at the moment. Where at in Florida? I'm from Jacksonville, and I'm going to be flying home there soon for a week. You never know. Maybe we'll run into each other. Let's see. Kellyanne says yes. Papa Drew is also saying back up a trailer or an RV will sometimes lead to one of you sleeping on the couch. Um, Walkie-talkies help, but not a sure thing. Remember, turn the wheel to the drive side or the passenger side. Don't give directions like left or right. That's absolutely true. I found that advice on, maybe it was KYD. I can't remember exactly, or Loho, and they say driver side, passenger side. So I think that just stops all confusion about which way the trailer goes. It's very helpful for me, anyway. So good advice, Papa Drew. Thank you. We used your shovel to kill a snake. You absolutely did. So see, it's a multi-purpose tool. And that's another important factor. Whenever you pack something, it should be able to be used for more than one purpose. And that kind of saves on packing too much stuff. Bentley misses the Ramblers, but enjoyed your video today. Oh, that's sweet. And Kelly says, be sure you know how to hook up those chains, pins, and whatever you hitch with. Absolutely true, Kelly, because that's essential. That's what keeps that trailer attached to your truck. And so knowing the proper way to hitch your trailer is really important. And you shouldn't ever pull out of the driveway until you know you've got it right. Let's see. Hello and enjoying your post on Facebook at Papa Drew, Jim said. Ron Laxton, arrive to the campsite before dark if possible. Very good sound advice. I myself like to arrive by 3 p.m. and I kind of try to keep it that way even in the summertime. 3 p.m. is a good time because that usually gives me a couple of hours before dark in the winter. And then in the summer, it just gives you extra time to sit down and relax after you've got to your destination. So that's my advice. Plan to arrive by 3 p.m. if at all possible. Thank you very much, Ron. That's a good point to bring out and help me remember to tell my daughter. Let's see. And not only my daughter, but anybody new to all this. Because there are so many new campers out there this year and probably will be next year as well. Hard to port, hard to starboard. Very true. No left or right, port or starboard. Yeah, I'd never get that one, Daryl. That'd be the end of me. I'd just say, okay, you park it, Daryl. Please shut off your water pump when moving. Yes. And that's important because if you don't shut off your water pump and something accidentally hits your faucet and turns the water on, it could overflow your sink and you could have water all over your trailer. So it's just a good, safe thing to do to turn your water pump off. Daryl, that screwed me up. I was in the Air Force, Jim said. Water pressure regulator and a surge protector. Yeah, we did already talk about a water pressure regulator, but a surge protector, that's something important for them to get. You're right, Papa Drew. Thank you so much. And please pick up after your pet. They don't have one, but other people do. After your pets, I love dogs and not a big fan of cleaning dog stuff up on my flip-flops. Absolutely. I have 2 dogs myself, and I don't want to step in what they do, and I don't want anyone else to have to go through that either. And I don't want to step on the neighbor's dog's mess. Please make sure your pet stays in your camp, not mine, unless I ask. Absolutely. We have to remember that we love our pets, but other people may not feel the same about them. And some particular types of dogs can be a little bit scary for people. So keep control of your pet. Keep them with you at all times, and don't enter somebody else's campsite with a pet unless they have asked you or given you permission. It's an in and outdoor cat. Groovy. Please keep your cat out of my rig. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like cats. I never did. Most definitely ask me. I have water everywhere. Oh, well, we'll have to find. I haven't heard that story. So that'll be a new story for the campfire. Um, let's see. Kevin Klein says that totally relaxed, retired last year after 12 years active duty in the Air Force, 18 years of civilian life, and 30 years. Civilian 30 years and retired. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for your service, Kevin. And Mr. Bobby Childers, thank you for your service as well. And any of those who are on here who are military, thank you for your service as well. Um, I had family members in the service, and I lost one brother in the Vietnam War. And so I'm always very appreciative of all of our service members. Okay, so now I'm hearing a lot of good tips about driving and that sort of thing. And don't let your kids run through other people's campsites. Amen to that one. I agree totally. Okay, so besides a shovel, what are important things to pack? Um, is there like a, let's say for instance, it's important to have, um, what am I trying to say? The air compressor. Um, it's one of the first things that I purchased when I knew I was going to be doing this by myself was an air compressor, because I hate the thought of having a flat tire, and I want to be able to check my tires before every trip, make sure they're at proper pressure, and if not, inflate them or take care of them as need be. So that's an important thing. Um, so what are some other tools that you feel are necessities that they should carry with them at all times? Or let's say from the ladies in the kitchen area, what do you feel are essential items in your RV kitchen? Give me some good ideas here. Let me go back because it jumped on me again. If you want to look like Las Vegas groovy, not all of what to look at your light show. What? Oh, I got you. Okay, so the lights outside the trailer. Um, it took me a minute to grab onto that, Papa Drew, but yes, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you don't want to have too many lights because people get irritated. If you leave them on for a couple of hours in the evening, that might not be bad. But if they're on all night long, people in I'm so sorry. People in campgrounds who are close to you are not very forgiving of things like that. It's just really kind of rude to keep lights on when people are trying to sleep. So monitor your lights. Let's see, what else did I miss? I think Sharon said something here and I missed it. And don't, oh, you did that. And don't let your kids run through the campsites. Absolutely. A smile and a great attitude when camping, for sure. A hand can opener. Thank you, Kelly. And paper everything. LOL. Yet, don't worry. My daughter is big on the paper, but the hand can opener, that's a good thing that she might forget about. I have one in my kitchen. It might be something she may not even think about, but they're very important. And don't forget the teepee. Absolutely. Don't forget the teepee. And that's been a big thing for the last year and a half. I just opened my last package that I purchased before I left Jacksonville in December. When I made all my purchases, I left in January, but I just opened my last package. So I have plenty with me. Papa Drew says, please do not run your generator all night long. It's not my fault you bought an all-electric RV. That's very true, especially in a campground. I think knowing my daughter, my daughter's going to be camping primarily in campgrounds, and they'll be hooked up to electric. But for those people who are new to RVing, who plan on doing some boondocking, it's important for you to know that you're going to need to run your generator during the daylight hours and not at night while people are trying to sleep. It's not something that they'll forgive you for very easily. Let's see. All right. Thanks for your service. Absolutely. And all the other ex-servicemen here today on the live chat. Nomadic Rambler says, we have a cast iron pan because if something happens and you don't have electricity or you don't have propane, you can always cook and in cast iron over a campfire. That's very good point. I have cast iron with me as well simply because I love to cook over a campfire. But you're right. You just never know. If you're not going to have power, you need to have a way to cook. You need a lighter in case the stove does not light. Yep. Collapsible everything. I agree, Don. You can get a lot of collapsible bowls. I have a real nice collapsible strainer that is big enough to fit inside my RV sink, and it has little handles on the end where you can extend it so that it'll reach over the edges of the sink, and you can wash off your produce or whatever. You could strain spaghetti noodles or macaroni or whatever in through there if you needed to. So it's multi-purpose as a colander and just as a strainer for your sink so you can wash your vegetables. A good set of rechargeable flashlights. Very good point, Kevin. Thank you. And be sure your propane tanks are full. Very true. I think a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people have two. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm going to drink more of this coffee. And usually what I do for my propane is as soon as I empty one tank and switch over to my other tank, I make a plan to go get propane because I know in my usage right now, this time of year, my propane tank will last me about 2 to 2.5, maybe 3 weeks, depending on the weather. So I usually don't wait longer than a week to get my other propane tank filled. But if you only have one, it makes it a little bit harder to try to judge how much propane you got in there. Now, I know that the Nomadic Ramblers have a great little gauge that they use on theirs, and it helps them know how full their tank is so that they know when they need to fill it up. Let's see, jumper cables or a jumper box. That's a good idea. Yeah, absolutely. And Jim, thank you also for your service. Absolutely. A fridge temperature gauge. Thank you, Donnie. That's a good point because you need to keep that refrigerator at temperature in order for your food to stay fresh and not be bad. You certainly don't need to be eating bad food out on the road. That was a very useful tip. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's see. And a good first aid kit. Karen, 2 babies and 4 grands. Absolutely. And I actually had that recommended to me as a topic. And so that is going to be my topic next week on first aid kit that you should carry with you and some of the things that you might want to put in it. And I'll show you what I carry with me. Do close to the house camping to get the bugs worked out, or you forget major items before going a long way from home. Very good advice, Daryl. That's very true. I actually did that the first few times. I did it in my daughter's driveway and stayed a few nights. A handgun. Yep. That sometimes is an important factor. Excellent idea some days, yes. That is an excellent idea to do that. The first trip that I ever took was a state park that was like 20 miles from my house. and about 10 miles from my daughter's house. So, and that was the first trip that I ever took away from home. And I wanted to get the kinks worked out, just, to make sure that I had everything that I need and that I could really do this on my own. Yes, that was me who PM'd you. Oh, that's right, Karen, it was. So, yes, that's next week. I was going to do it this week, and then my daughter bought her trailer. So I thought this is a very timely thing for them if we give them some advice. Fuses, Kelly says. Absolutely. I have a little baggie in my top drawer in my kitchen, which is my junk drawer. But I have a little Ziploc bag with extra fuses and a fuse puller, and I keep it handy right there in the kitchen so that I have it in case I ever have anything go wrong. And Sue's just saying hello to Karen. Kelly, yeah, that's a good one. And welcome, Karen. Can you turn the wind down, please? That would be great. We're having a little bit of a windy day, 25 to 35 mile an hour winds with some gusts. They said maybe up to like 50 today, but I don't think it's been quite that bad. But we're in a beautiful setting. Ron Laxton says, I used to plan before a trip, but I learned not to stress and relax and enjoy the trip. If I forgot it, most likely I could make it without it or pick it up on the trip. Have fun and keep it fun. That's very good advice as well. I think that, once you make those first few trips and you get the kinks worked out, you know what you need to have that will stay in the trailer. And then, the things that you're going to take out and put back in the house or whatever. But you're right. You can't stress too much or you're not going to enjoy the trip. And that's what this whole lifestyle is really all about. Don says, practice driving your car in the city and highway conditions before embarking on your maiden camping voyage. That's another good tip. Absolutely. Just to make sure that you feel comfortable driving it before you take off. 79 is still raining in Houston after 6 days. Oh my gosh, Jim. You guys are probably just waterlogged by now. Ron, that's right. Stress will ruin your trip in a heartbeat, said the Nomadic Ramblers. Very true. Totally relaxed. Same thing in Louisiana. Yeah, they're having some real issues with flooding there. Ron says, absolutely right after camper stuff, separate from house. Yeah, that's for sure. And Karen says, a good map or Garmin. Yes. I do believe my daughter and son-in-law are armed with those already, but those are things for other new people to think about. Absolutely. You got to know, and it's important to have a good paper map because, not all the time will you have service. And if you don't have an offline map downloaded on your phone or your tablet or whatever you're using, then if you don't have a paper map, you could be lost. You could be stuck not knowing where to go, and that's not a good feeling. Absolutely right. Have the camper stuff separate from the house. Yes, that's just like I have certain dishes that I keep in the camper. Of course, I'm full-time now, but there's totally separate from what I would have had in my home at the time when I was at home all the time. Same thing with my towels and washcloths and products for the bathroom and everything. That all stays right there. About the all of my cookware and silverware and stuff like that all stays in the trailer. The only thing that I do take out when I'm at home is all the food products. I take all of that, except for some of the canned goods. If they've got a date that's far enough out, I just leave them in the trailer and don't worry about them. So those are very good points. We drove all day in the rain. Oh gosh, because you guys were going through Texas. Oh my goodness. So sorry. It's never fun driving in the rain. But hopefully it wasn't real hard driving rain where you couldn't hardly see. That's when I really don't like to drive in the rain. Don't trust Google or GPS directions 100% of the time. Very good point, Daryl. That's very true because they can lead you in the wrong direction. You have to be able to look at it and see it on a map to know whether or not they're going to lead you safely the right way. Yeah, that rain is bad, absolutely. Donnie Child says, would like a gas fire pit. I have one, and they're really very nice. We hardly ever have a real campfire anymore. So much of the time it's been so windy, even it's hard to light my propane fire pit this year. But early in the morning, if the winds are calm and I'm outside, I like to sit outside and gather in my thoughts for the day, drink my coffee, and just have a little bit of one-on-one peace and isolation from everyone. And I enjoy my fire pit for that. Nomadic Rambler says, some days Bobby was fussing at the garment all day because he thought it was wrong. I can see that. I can see him doing that. Karen says, oh no, Kim, yeah, the rains was really bad for the people in Louisiana. Can't trust a garment 100% either. I know. Absolutely. We've traveled 40 all the way because parts of 10 are shut down because of flooding. Yeah, this Kim's parents had to be rescued from all of the flooding and everything. So they're well aware of all the flooding in Louisiana. Hey there, Lucretia. How are you? Glad you could stop in and say hi. Hope everything is going well for you. Nice of you to be here. You've recently purchased an RV and recently took that maiden voyage. What advice do you have for somebody that's just purchasing an RV? Haven't taken that first trip yet. What advice would you give them? We've had some really good ideas and suggestions on here. So you might want to go back and watch it. Watch the replay later, Lucretia. Might even find something that'll be helpful for you as well. So anyway, just come forth saying hello at Burning Up the Roads. It's so nice that we have a community that acknowledges other people. That's one of the really nice things I love about camping is just how we relate with one another, and it's just like sharing this information and ideas. You know, there's a lot of times when you're in situations where you may not feel free to share information or may not feel like you want to share information with other people. But in this community, I think that people are very good-hearted and generous and kind and really want to help other people and do whatever that they can to help keep you safe or see you through a predicament. So I appreciate every single one of you, just so that you know that. All right, Lucretia, that's a good idea. So glad that you could be here tonight. And I know you put up a video today. I haven't had a chance to take a look at it, but I'll be viewing that later today. So, okay, so has anybody run across a particular checklist? You know, one of those things where you kind of check off to make sure that you check your stabilizer jacks are up, check all your latches are closed and locked. The TV is secured inside the trailer. The water pump is off. Do y'all have a checklist, something like this? Or do you know where to find one? Because that would be something that would be really useful to people who are new to RV life. If you've seen one, please let me know. I think I'm gonna try to maybe search that on YouTube too, and see, do a pre-trip and a post-trip. Yeah, checklist. Yes, exactly. Um, so if any of you already have one of those, let me know, and pass it on. You can send it to me in Messenger. I would appreciate it. Yeah, and you have to make sure and do that walk around, before you drive off, both inside and outside. And there's been times when I've forgotten a few things, and thankfully, I have people around me that help me double check and make sure that everything is done, and that never hurts, and it shouldn't be something that we should say, well, I know what I'm doing. You don't have to do that for me. I am always very appreciative when somebody else walks around my trailer, because if they catch something that I've missed, then it potentially could have prevented an accident for me. And I would never be upset when somebody gives me advice about something that I need to take care of. So that's just, good information for all of us. Never be so prideful that you can't take a suggestion from someone else, um, to make sure that you're safe. Let's see. Code 4 says, I adapt a pre-flight checklist concept to the RV. Um, Very good, very good. Do you have it written down somewhere, Don, that you could maybe share that information? Nomadic Rambler says, oh my gosh, secure all the cabinets. Make sure there is nothing that can swing or move or whatever, and lock the refrigerator door. Yes, because refrigerator doors can fly open, can't they, Sharon? Absolutely. Uh, and and once you get to your location, the other half of that is that you need to be very careful when you open your cabinet doors or your refrigerator door. You want to do it very slowly, because things do shift inside, and they could come down and hit you in the head, or spill on the floor. So it's an absolute truth. Make sure that you open everything very slowly after you've reached your destination. Let's see. Put your keys on the TV antenna to make sure you put it down. Okay, well, that's another good point. Yeah, I rarely raise my TV antenna, so it's something that is hard for me to remember, um, when I do have it up, which isn't often, because I don't even think to check for TV. That's not something I do a lot, but that's that's a really funny, sensible way to remember to put your antenna down. Thank you very much, Daryl. Let's see. So Lucretia from Burning Up the Road says, I recommend a written checklist. We didn't use one and will going forward. We forget sometimes. Our brains aren't young enough to remember all these things. That's very true, Lucretia, and it's nice to have things written down. If you run across one, please let me know. Send me a message, and because I would love to be able to give something like that to my daughter. I think that particularly in the beginning, they need a checklist. One of the first things I bought was bars for in the fridge and the cabinet. Yeah, those tension bars, Kelly. That's a great idea, because that helps keep things from falling out when you do open the cabinet doors. That's a good point, and something that I'm sure my daughter would really be grateful for that suggestion. So thank you, I appreciate it. Um, and Sue is just saying hello to Lucretia. And Sue says, this is an interesting suggestion, and some days here. Thankfully, our antenna did not retract. We had a King Jack antenna. Shirley, I like the magazine rack behind your head. Oh, thank you. I got that off of Amazon. Can you see the whole side of it now? It's really nice. It just kind of goes with the rest of my decor, and it's the perfect size for these benchmark maps. I was having a hard time finding a place that I could put them where they were easily accessible, and they're kind of heavy. So, I had to be careful where I put them. And this magazine rack was just the answer. And now they're right at my fingertips. I can reach back and pull a map out anytime I want. And I absolutely love it. So, yeah, I found it on Amazon. And if you need the link, I'll send it to you. Let's see. And Daryl says, always bring in your slides, solar panels, and awnings when moving, unless you are in courtside. Wouldn't you need to bring your slides in anyway if you're moving, even in courtside? I would think so. That's confusing, Daryl. Observe overpass heights. Good recommendations for driving. Yes, know your route. Know if there's any tunnels or overpasses that are going to be a clearance issue for you. Absolutely. These are all very good ideas, guys. Not to dump. Not to dump. Okay. So you would put your slide in if you were just going to dump? I don't think I'd want my slide hanging out like that. I don't know. I don't know enough about slides because it's not something that I do. But I don't have to worry about it. So I'll let you worry about that. Kevin said, know the true height of your rig. Absolutely. Because you never know when you might run into something. Yeah, Idaho map. I wonder why we might be needing an Idaho map. And so Kevin is saying, know the true height of your rig when you're hooked up to your truck. Because, yeah, it will be different then. Kelly says, make sure you take a bucket. Absolutely. Another one of those multi-purpose items that is just so handy to have around in so many different ways. And Don says, that's a good one, Kevin. It is a good one. But it's true. I mean, recently there was a possible question as to whether or not Kevin and Don's rig would go through a tunnel that we went through. It's not really a tunnel. It was more of an arch, which was more than enough. But, it kind of got them thinking about needing to know the true height so that they know what their clearance issues would be. Have an RV GPS for heights and roads. Do you have a recommendation for that, Daryl? Is there one that you use that you would recommend to other people? Karen, 2 babies and 4 grand, says make sure your doors are locked at night. Not everyone camping are good people. That's very true. It's just one of those common sense things that we should be doing in the day and age that we live in. And it may not be the people that are camped around you. It could be someone creeping into the campsite in the middle of the night that doesn't even belong there. Same thing happens in homes and neighborhoods. So lock your doors at night. We can't leave our bicycles out on the porch anymore because people are not always nice. So safeguard your items. That, I run my generator in the evening. I make sure that I lock the tailgate of my truck and lock all the doors on my cab before I go to bed. And then I come in and I use both the locks on my front door. And, I have all of my protection gear, we'll call it, near to me when I go to bed at night. And those are just things that you do as safety precautions because it's just a smart thing to do. You just never know about people in this world today. So there we go. Hey, there's Millie and James. Hi, nice to see you. Glad you could pop in. So we're talking about information for new RV owners, Millie and James, and what advice can you give, or what are your suggestions for things that you need to have for an RV before you take that first trip out? Everybody's saying hi to Millie and James. Nomadic Rambler says, we have to go, y'all. Have a great night and don't blow away. Thank you so much. Glad you could come and join us this evening. Um, I will pray for your continued safety during your trip home. And how far do you plan on getting tomorrow? What's your goal? Let us know. And we can arrange you saying hello, Jim. So yeah, if y'all haven't ever watched Weekend RVing, they're a really fun couple. Make sure you check out their channel. And of course, the Nomadic Ramblers, as always. Some days here is having a little lapse in placing videos, but they have some really good videos on their channel that you can go back and watch. So please watch Some Days Here, and hopefully that will encourage them to put out some more new videos, because we love you guys, and I'd love to see you do that. Kevin is saying, LOL, after I lowered my gooseball hitch, I still haven't rechecked my height. Well, Kevin, we got to get on that. We got to find out that information. Everybody's saying goodnight to Bobby and Sharon. What was the question again, Shirley? Okay, so here's the deal, Millie. This became a personal issue for me because my daughter and son-in-law just purchased a new RV, and they've never done anything like this before. So the topic tonight is how to prep, how to pack. Do you have any checklists that you use before you take off on a trip? What information do they need to know as a new RV owner? What suggestions would you have? Whether it's must-have items for the RV kitchen, must-have items for the outside, must-have checklist for before you take a trip. Just information. That's what we're looking for. Let's see. And they're just saying hello to everybody. Hey, how's James doing? Did he sell another car or a truck? Got to keep up with you guys. I'm hoping that y'all are doing great because we'd like to eventually see you back out on the road. I really miss you guys. I really enjoyed meeting with you all and spending some time with you at the campfire. And you're just really gracious, sweet people. Love you to pieces and look forward to seeing you again someday. So, let's see. Totally relaxed, says Daryl. I didn't know you had a channel. I'm a family member now. All right. Totally relaxed. Yeah. Their channel is called Some Days Here, and it has an apostrophe in it. So it's Someday apostrophe S here. But yeah, look them up. They got some good videos out there. And they need to have more. So I'll leave it at that. A good weather girl. Check out Dawn's Weather Today on YouTube. Amen. We're hoping that Dawn will start her own YouTube channel for weather. She's quite the weather girl. She always looks at it early in the morning and lets us know what's coming for the day. So, Millie's saying he sold one today. Yay! And we were doing great. Thank you. Just saving up like crazy. Absolutely. Love you guys. And we'll continue to pray for success for James and his endeavors in selling these new vehicles. Let's see. She does a great job. Dawn does do a great job. Absolutely. She's also a pretty good navigator. Kevin's smiling. And part of the fun in RVing is winging it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But my daughter will be scared to death for a while. The first 2 or 3 trips, she'll be a little bit anxious to wonder what they missed or what they forgot. I really don't do much. James does it all. Well, that's true, and that happens in a lot of families. But my daughter is one of those that likes to plan out her kitchen very meticulously. She's quite a cook and a baker. Um, she could rival Kim, who is one of my heroes when it comes to baking and cooking. Um, my daughter is fabulous at it, so she'll want to have everything possible that she can take with her. Uh, but she needs to learn how to downsize, and like I said, take things that can function as a multi-purpose item, if at all possible. Probably don't go too far the first few times. That's very good advice. Um, that's always a good thing on your maiden voyage, to stay close to home and try things out locally. So get out what you put in while RVing. Absolutely, very very true. Um, I know that there are some checklists out there that other YouTubers have, and maybe I've seen them on Facebook. I don't honestly remember, it's been so long ago, but I'll have to try to find it. But if anyone does have a checklist that they have found helpful, please message me on Facebook. Um, I have a personal Facebook page, which is Shirley Hatton, or I also have a Following the Yellow Brick Road Facebook page that you can use to message me with in Messenger, and I would love to have that information. I think they do too. I don't know whether it's Kim or Daryl that did this, but yes, I think KYD does have one. Um, so I'll look at them, and maybe the other possibility is Low Low Ho. But I know I saw it early on when I was thinking about full-time travel, and I can't, it bothers me because I can't remember. So anyway, I want to thank everyone for joining me this evening. Um, thank you for those that popped over from Van Vita Travels. That was just such a really fun experience, and I love doing that interview, and it was so helpful to my channel. And I hope that you've enjoyed our live chat tonight. I do this every Thursday at 5:30 Mountain Time. So please come and join me. I'm trying to get some videos together. I like to put out 1 to 2 videos a week, but I didn't get any out last week. Um, so anyway, thank you for joining my channel and watching, and I hope that you'll return and watch many more. Millie is saying that surge protector is pretty important, especially if they're going to be plugged in. Yes. Don't want to run the camper appliances or devices. Could be pretty costly. That's great advice, Millie. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Jim is saying bye, everyone, and thanks for being here. And bye to you, Jim. As always, I'm very grateful for the people who are here every week. You and Kelly, and some days here, and Kevin and Dawn, and the Nomadic Ramblers, and Karen, and Millie and James always pop in. I appreciate you coming so much. Let's see who else. And Ron Laxton was here this evening, somebody new. And let's see, I had a couple of other people that were new here. I've got to go back and find them. But I want to thank you all for coming tonight. And Lucretia for burning up the roads. It was nice to see you on this evening. Ron Laxton. And then there was another Ronald S. with something 1965. Thank you for coming in this evening. I really appreciate your presence and supporting my channel. It's very helpful, and I'm very thankful for all of those who come in to the live chat and support me. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you'd enjoyed the live chat. Share this out to your friends and family if you would, or all your social media, because others who are new to RVing may need this information as well. And we had some really great tips on here. We got quite a few from Papa Drew, and Papa Drew, if you're still on here, thank you for all the input that you had. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to say goodnight to everyone. And I will see you next Thursday. And I think our topic is going to be first aid and how to be prepared on the road. So I will see you next Thursday at 5:30 Mountain Time. And hopefully we'll be somewhere close to Boise, Idaho by then. All right, guys, good night and take care, be safe, and I'll see you down the road. Bye bye.